the repeat, cause the children coming to take back the power of the word in the conscious styling. Giving you the power and you want the power of the word in the rap so styling. Rocking the roots of the conscious system. Talk it all. Talk it all. Your bloody receiver. Talk it all. Your super master. Talk it all. Your friggin' oppressor.
A powerful tune.
Yeah! Revelation!
Yes, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Andy and team. Good morning to all those listening to us on the radio. Good morning to those following us on social media. We are here. It's Monday, 14th January 2019. The year is speeding along. The year is not holding back, so you better not be holding back. You better have your plan. I listen to Andy and Lennox and Mikey on our morning. I want to tell you something. These fellas, in between all the politics and all the campaigning, they give you some nuggets of knowledge that you can't miss, you know. It is time for people to take responsibility for their own lives. When you start to take responsibility for your life, for yourself, for your family, for your home, for your street, for your community, you start to take responsibility for your country. We can't continue to live life like leaves flowing down a drain. You gotta have a plan. Where you going? At the start of every year, you're supposed to break that whole year down into 4 quarters. 4 quarters. Where are you supposed to be in the first quarter? Where are you supposed to be in the second quarter? Where are you supposed to be in the third quarter? Where are you supposed to be in the fourth quarter? This is Monday the 14th of January. Anybody who have their life planned, that working with a plan, will tell you, today is the second Monday, second week, first month, first quarter. You're supposed to know where you are. If you don't have a map, how are you going to know where you're going? If you don't have a plan, there are too many people outside there calling whatever they hit the target. And it brings me to the politics. Plenty people get into politics and they're sharing stuff and making a set of old talk. That's cool. You know what? Everybody, freedom of speech, talk your talk. That's the tune we play to go in. But if you don't have a plan, if you don't have an idea where you want the nation to go, if you don't have some kind of a goal in mind, what's the point of the talk? If you are just noise, if all you hope to do is accomplish making noise, what in the politics is the point of you? Let me say good morning one time to my PRO, Janice Lemon Creaky. She is here. Janice, you know what? You want to take a stab at the board while we're waiting on Tony? You could do that. But the mic's open, so you could open the main mic and say good morning. Anthony Defoe is stuck in traffic. He's coming from Central. Like all the other people coming from South and Central this morning. 200,000 people raising the children in traffic, in unnecessary traffic. Hit the button below. Test yourself. You have a headphones? We'll give you headphones one time. Figuring this stuff out as we go. We're making this up as we go and we're doing it with pleasure. Janice, let me just get this out the bag. Nice. Here. Right? Right. Janice is now PRO, Janice Lemon Creaky. If there's one thing we in the PEP good at, is knowing. And I tell people all the time, there are plenty of people want the revival, but too few of them want to come and help put out the chairs. You know? Janice, test your mic and let me see where it's going. You have on the volume on your headphones? The volume on the headphones is important. Right? No, but are you hearing yourself? Are you hearing me through the headphones? If you're hearing me, then, and you're not hearing you yet, turn on that mic there. That should be you. That is you. Yeah? You could say good. You could say good morning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I tell you, we are jack of all trades. Within the Progressive Empowerment Party. But we have to learn to do so many things.
But as Anthony Defoe is trapped in traffic, like so many of our citizens, this morning I just took a video of a hole. Just before I'm walking here, I made 2 live videos between parking my car and coming here. And I'm trying to get Trinidadians to understand, if you see it, light it up.
That's right.
If you see, light it up. If you see it, the Prime Minister just said it costs $140 million a day to run this country. I just lit up a pothole. Again, this week we sent a pothole on the corner of Chamflair and Eastern Main Road, that gone viral. Because that one win. That one is a spa. But this one is a junior spa. This one have a jacuzzi in it too.
I guess they waited for somebody to go and take
Janice, that, the hole right here, where you see that red flag that you just passed,
Right.
that hole is about 3 feet deep, you know.
Wow.
If your car fall in there, it mash up, you know.
Yeah.
That hole is about 3 feet deep. And if you listen to that video, you'll hear that they're angry. You know why angry? Because they still have morons in this country. They still have people who want to tell you, well, the minister ain't dig the hole. No, the minister didn't dig the hole. But the minister work is to make sure the hole fix. And if the minister can't do that work, fire him. Don't make excuses for him.
That's right.
It is his job to know. On this corner by the studio, 2 weeks now, a set of cables on the ground between the lampposts and the building. So nobody can walk there. Women, old, elderly, children, every road user, every sidewalk user have to put themselves now in danger walking among the cars.
I did that this morning, and I'm going, but this wasn't here before. How come nobody has seen it?
Janice, it is not about not seeing it. It's about not caring.
Right.
And that is why I want to come to this. And in the first hour, I want to explain to Trinidad and Tobago why of all the constitutional reform items that you think that we need, that people pandering all over the place, that confusing you and making you think that it is a big fix. Trinidad, real easy to fix, you know. But you can't frame the conversation between PNM and UNC, because if you're doing that, you're already lost. Because if you have two failed political parties that have failed at government repeatedly, that have been engaged in the business of corruption and tribal separation of the country, we fail already if we still continue considering those people.
Right.
Let's talk recall. We in this country have democracy for about a minute. For about the minute that it takes us to make our vote. That's the sum total of our democracy. Democracy is not burning tires and they responding. That's terrorism. That's different.
Yeah.
If you have to terrorize the state into action, if you have to ransom your community to force the government to do its job, that's not democracy.
Correct.
Democracy is you being able to pick up the phone and call the person responsible for road management and water and tell them, listen, on Paul Carew Street, the street is being washed away by hundreds of thousands of gallons of water a day running out of a hole that has created a gaping maw where the average vehicle, if it falls in that, will be destroyed. There should be somebody who will say, thank you very much for alerting us. We will action it. But we don't have that.
No, we don't.
And our democracy stops at that vote. Because after you vote this government into office, after you finish vote for any government into office, right now, you have no say.
Not a word.
If Rohan Sinanan this morning knew that hole was tied to his job, that hole can't exist. If Rohan Sinanan knew that he could be recalled and fired, that hole fixed. And you can extrapolate right up to managing the fallout from Section 34 and every bit of corruption, every Calder Hart and Johnny O and Ishgal Baran Singh and all of this. The Parliament would self-correct and self-regulate if it knew that the people who voted them into office could vote them back out without waiting on them to call an election. Right now we have an elected dictatorship in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what we have. Because for 5 years and 6 months, you could vote a government into office, and for 5 years and 6 months, they don't have to do nothing at all. And you can't do nothing about that.
You gotta take what you get. Because that's what you voted in.
The administration of justice in the country is in shambles. The Law Association is fighting the Chief Justice. The Prime Minister is refusing to act. The President has no authority to act. The highest offices in the country are being brought into disrepute, and nothing is happening that would suggest to the nation that this is a real country. If this were America or England or Canada or Spain or Portugal or France, the independent news media would be covering it. They would be asking questions of all office holders. Where do we go from here? But in Trinidad, we get caught up in the thick of thin things. We get distracted by foolishness. So we don't understand all of those things are connected by the failure of government to do its job and the inability of the people to be able to hold them to account. And that is why we in the Progressive Empowerment Party say everything that is wrong with the Constitution. And there are some things that need amending in our Constitution. All of those things can fix, and can fix easily. It can fix as easily as the speed with which and the alacrity with which the government repealed Section 34.
Yeah.
To repeal a law, you have to write a law, especially a law like that. They did that in one sitting.
That's right.
One sitting. All hands. And they vote, the ayes have it, and that's it. And it's as simple as that. So there are a lot of things in this country that need fixing. I kid you not. When a law is passed in the parliament, let's look at this, right? When you see a bill brought to the parliament, there are two positions right now in our lack of democracy. There are two positions. There's the government position and there's the opposition position. All the stunting that you see that takes place in the parliament, that they read it for 16 days and all that foolishness, is the government side, all of them saying the same thing. And the opposition side, all of them saying the same thing. To make the country run properly, the government should have its position and the opposition have its position, and it go to the floor where every parliamentarian could vote their conscience, where every parliamentarian could stand up, because the member of parliament for Diego Martin Central supposed to stand up and say, Mr. Speaker, I am part of the government, but my constituents who sent me here have instructed me that they are not interested in voting with the government on this issue. And I have to vote against the government on the instructions of the people who own this seat, the people of Diego Martin Central. That is how it is supposed to work. But it doesn't work so. We've created something called the whip. The government whip, the chief whip, and the opposition whip, minority whip. And those two whips literally whip the other members of the house into shape. They are supposed to, they will tell them, this is how we voting on that, so you vote that way. So what's the point? What is the point of 41 members of parliament if they have no representation of the people? If they don't come back to you and say, listen, they're talking about decriminalizing marijuana. How you feel? Because the people of Diego Martin West should have an opinion.
That's right.
They should be able to weigh in on that issue. The war against drugs, especially marijuana, has cost this country hundreds of millions of dollars, incarcerated many souls, have hundreds of millions of dollars in court cases pending. So it's obviously this is a big issue and everybody should be able to weigh in on the issue. But that is not what is allowed. What takes place instead is the government say this is our position, the opposition say this is our position, and each of those respective ranks hold rank. That is not a democracy. That is not a democracy. And we tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, you could organize yourselves in your community and say, we want this done. When you go into the parliament, this is how we want you to vote. And if you do not vote that way, we will trigger a recall that fires you.
That is so, I mean, that is really mind-boggling.
Janice, that one law,
That's right.
that one piece of power will put the parliament back in the hands of the people.
And that's what we need. That is really what we need, because people just don't have that power anymore. You know, things happen and it's like, who do I turn to? But you're supposed to happen and people are supposed to represent you in parliament. But even that, you don't even get the proper representation. You don't even get to speak to your MP. You don't get to see your MP.
Because you can't fire him.
That's right.
He don't need, he don't have business with you anymore. He get your vote.
That's right.
But if your vote, if you had the ability to recall that vote, now you are Miss Lemon Creaky. Good day, ma'am. I got a missed call from you and I'd like to apologize. I was in the parliament at the time, but you are on my list of people to return a call. How can I serve you?
All right.
That's what we are supposed to get.
All right.
But we cannot get that as long as these people get elected into a dictatorship position. Colm Imbert don't give an ass about nobody in his constituency. He can't lie and pretend that he does. If Colm Imbert cared one iota, and I want to tell you, the people of Diego Martin Northeast and Maraval had self-respect, Colm Imbert could never be in that parliament. They vote in race and they vote in party. They not vote in self. And that is the foolishness that we do in this country. Because all you have to do is drive over Mount Coco Road from Piti Valley to Maraval to see the contempt with which these politicians hold the people of these communities. Mount Coco Road between Piti Valley and Maraval is an example of what failed government looks like. That snapshot of Trinidad, if you did a video of that road start to finish and share that with the world, they would think Trinidad is a third world backwater in the 1920s, because that's how it looks.
Well, I traveled that road just recently, and the road has been paved. The only issue I have right now, because you paved the road, but you left all the garbage on the side of the road.
But forget that, people walking in the road, they have no sidewalks,
No
they have no
sidewalks, that's
water,
right.
the people have no water, so a ribbon of tar can't fool me.
That's right.
Because they have two locations along the Paramin Road where they have gaping, big, massive dumpsters where everybody's come and pile up their rubbish. So the homes that in proximity and every car that driving by have to watch this. And we can't fix that in a country that spends $140 million a day.
That's right.
Something as simple as traffic schedule management we can't fix.
I think it's very important that we put the power back into the hands of the people. Not only that, people will respect themselves and their voting. Because right now people don't respect that. They vote, as you say, on party lines. But we need to get them to understand that their vote is worth a lot of money. It's worth a lot. And they should use it to help and make sure that things happen in their constituency. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to face no water, potholes, garbage not being picked up, the flooding. They still have to face that. Therefore, they need to ensure that they value their vote, so that when people come knocking on their door asking for that vote, they must be able to
But when
say,
you-
what?
When you say value that vote, spread that out, go deeper with that. Vote road.
Correct.
And I don't want you to pave my road once for 5 years.
That's right.
Your job is to maintain my road continuously. Simple things like this. The Progressive Empowerment Party talks about decentralizing water and sewage to every constituency. We talk about decentralizing road maintenance to every constituency. There must be a supervisor of public works and a supervisor of public utilities. In a real run country, WASA sees a leak on Polkaroo Street that it needs to dig up. It's an emergency leak, it's undermining the road, so they should have a different protocol for an emergency. They're supposed to be able to trigger a protocol for that.
That's right.
But in a normal situation, we want to lay some pipes in the road. So we contact the Minister of Public Utilities, the Supervisor of Public Utilities office,
Right.
contacts the Supervisor of Public Works to tell him, we would like to lay pipes along this stretch of road.
Yeah.
We anticipate our installation will take 6 hours. So the Supervisor of Public Works office, their engineers, will work out, we have to break the surface of the road, remove a certain amount of material, and that will take us 3 hours to remove, 3 hours to put back. He needs 6 hours, we need 6 hours, that's 12 hours. So they will contact the Supervisor of Security, National Security, for the constituency and tell him we need police on this day
Right.
between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening for 12 hours, redirecting traffic on this road, because this is going to happen. We need signs. So
Yeah.
it's happening 3 days from now. They will publish on social media. They will send out WhatsApp bursts. They will use traditional media if it is going to be a serious interruption to say, this street will be closed for 6 hours because this is being done on this day. Follow road signs. Take guidance by traffic officers in the area. Now,
You know,
everybody's aware.
That is so simple.
Janice, everybody's now aware. All the businesses, all the schools now have to make a decision. My school, you can't access my school. So the supervisor of education may send out a notice to all parents. Because of the interruption of traffic that will prevent your child from safely getting to school, we've taken a decision to give a school holiday on this day. We will send home school work the child's supposed to get done. Please make sure that that is done. We'll see them in school the following day. So that everybody's aware.
Correct. Yeah.
Traffic, taxi drivers, when they pick up people, I can't go down that road because you hear they dig up that road today. And then let's go further. the supervisor of public works office, their job should be to dig the road, not WASA. WASA job supposed to be pipe.
Right, correct.
Pipe and pipe alone.
Correct.
The supervisor of public works office for this constituency, we've already made an arrangement. We are there to dig the trench. Your engineers, because everything built in this country, we have multi-story buildings that people don't know the engineering that holds them up. Roads are the same thing. There is engineering in a road that allows the road to take the wear and tear that a road takes. So your engineers have told us they need to displace this amount of material to hold this much pipe. We are coming to remove the material so that, and we will be there. And so you said you need 6 hours. You will have your space in the ground from, so we say 6 to 6. So from 9 o'clock in the morning, you all can start to lay pipe. You start to lay pipe. And you're supposed to be done by 3 because you said you'll be done by 3. So you start to lay pipe and we're watching the schedule. I have a supervisor there. You have a supervisor there. We keeping each other in touch. How we going? How it looking? And at 3 o'clock on the dot or sooner, your pipes are finished. The supervisor of public works, his office comes back to properly repair the road.
That's right.
To properly repair the road. Because if you look at the road and the patchwork madness and all of the potholes, most of them are incorrect patches. Works that was done not to standard, not to international engineering standard. We just pour some material in and throw some pitch on top of it. And for 3 days, it looked like the road was fixed, but it wasn't. Because traffic wear and tear, and I want the average person to check this. When you listen to traffic, when you're standing on the side of the road and you're listening to traffic, what you hear, that noise that you hear is not the engine of the car, you know. That noise that you hear is tire on road friction. That's the sound that makes up most of road noise. Roads get, every time a tire turns on the road, the friction that holds the rubber tire to the hot pitch wants to pull the pitch off the ground. That's it. That's the attraction. It's that serious. And the heavier the vehicle, the more that is done. If you stand up behind a vehicle that is taking off where they have some gravel that's moving off, that have some dust or some dirt or some gravel, you will see the gravel and the dirt pitch away from behind it.
That's right.
The tires are trying to do that to the road constantly. So a road is designed to be built. A road is designed to be built to get certain things done. Hold on, let him manage the calls now, because we're gonna take some calls. You wanna try that? All right, no problem, Tony. Yeah. She want to drive the Starship Enterprise. Let me just finish this point and I'll introduce Tony. What's supposed to be done when those pipes are laid, if they need to put a surface above the pipes, check plate, it could be wooden, it could be metal, it could be rocks. There are bigger boulders that they would lay on top of the pipes, and their job is to protect the pipe from the weight on top of it compressing. So they put the big rocks first on top of the pipe, so that gets laid on, and then they put a layer of gravel. They might use blue metal or they might use normal chap sand or gravel, and that's to fill up the space between there. Then they put back the dirt and they compact the dirt and put more dirt and compact the dirt until that dirt is compacted to international engineering standards, depending on what the road's supposed to tolerate. Because these are important information.
Right.
Those numbers are important. And you compact until your dirt matches the dirt under the existing pitch that you could see. Because you've cut it. So you could see how much inches of pitch is on either side of it and where the dirt stops. You are compacting to international tolerances so that it will take vehicles and not sink and not collapse. That is the objective here. And then you come and you put the last thing is the road surface. In heavier locations, in locations like highways and things, they might have 8 inches of concrete that goes before the pitch to take the licks. You might have to drill into both sides and put rebar, because when you put rebar and steel inside a concrete, it increases the compressive strength of concrete. So it all depends on what this road's supposed to do. And you could have this done to that standard when they're done. Because that pipe's supposed to be laid there permanently. So when you fix this road, you're not supposed to come back. And if you fix the road properly, to that standard, the road don't compress the pipe and break the pipe and cause the pipe to leak again.
Which is what is happening.
A lot of the times. They come and pave roads by just dumping material on top of a road and then bringing a steamroller that is now steamrolling patches. They're not seeing the patches. They have patches. The whole road is a network of patches sunken in. That's why we drive like we're driving in the Bocas. But when you come and you offload pitch and bring everything to one level and you send that steamroller rolling, it presses those incomplete patches straight down to the pipe and breaks the pipe. So now people are saying, why it is Wassa coming to dig up a freshly paved road? Wassa is coming to dig up a freshly paved road because paving the road broke the pipe. Because the road fixed before, after you laid or fixed the pipe, wasn't sufficient to protect the pipe. There is something called Schedule 40 pipe or greater that is designed. In some applications, you use different materials to make sure that the pipe could withstand the pressure of the road above. Because if the pipe is breaking, and I mean we stay in focus on something that should be a simple issue, the average person shouldn't need to know all of this that I'm telling them this morning, but they should understand that everything has a system for a reason. And if you have a country where these constituencies are run by a board of supervisors, then Rohan Sinanan and Junior Samido get to decide when Point 14 roads get in smooth. Whoever got the contract to build Taruba Road just built a road that is falling apart again. Outside South Park, when you reach that roundabout, it's waves of pitch. It's waves of pitch because that is shifting sand. Taruba, where we built the Taruba Stadium, that is shifting ground. And there are ways to build on shifting ground. You would actually lay an entire structure, the road itself, in a situation like that. Because all the way to Wallerfield, they encounter shifting ground. And there will be times that you will see, next time you drive in, what the Americans did, you'll see culverts on either side, but there are no rivers. And you'll be wondering, what are these culverts for? Those culverts encapsulate and hold the entire road like a bridge on shifting sand and links and takes and goes. And you're supposed to engage engineers in this. Your road building engineers are very important people. When you go and you see what is under the ground, what is under the road surface in Taruba, you will understand you're building in a milkshake. You're literally building in a milkshake. And every time a rainy season comes, and liquefaction take place in road. Normal road use shakes the road, right? And it turns the soil below it almost to a liquid state, just on its own. It's called liquefaction in engineering terms. And when we have heavy rainy season, your engineering can never be 1,000%. So there will be times you will leak and create spaces, and they settle into those spaces, and that is what giving you those waves of pitch. But that whole road, Taruba entire road, as long as we want to continue to have that road, we have to build a proper road.
I agree.
You keep cutting off the people of Marabella, and now you're developing the community. So you've put a South Park there now, and down the road you put a C3. So that area now it was always under pressure because people coming out of South trying to get to the highway, that is the most used exit. It was always under pressure, but now you've added this much external traffic that had no reason to be there, but is coming there now because of these things that call them there, these malls and stuff. So you had to take in front, knowing that you are given approvals for these things to happen again. We have no spatial planning. If you are going to build a South Park, you have to meet with the supervisor of public works for the constituency and say, listen, because if you say I'm building a mall, when you go to your financiers, when you go to the store, the people you're trying to sell stores to, you tell them we anticipate a traffic of 10,000 people a week. You know, Janice, you used to run a mall. So you know that there is information based on traffic in the mall, how much people you expect that will be using this mall. So you have to you'll be able to tell the supervisor of public works, on top of whatever you deal with, we are bringing 10,000 more people a week that will be coming in here with cars, vans, trucks, SUVs. So your road will be under pressure. Can your road handle this? Can you manage this with the existing road network? Because if you can't, we need to do something here. We need to create the ability to handle this. And this is the kind of national management we've never had as a country.
Unfortunately not.
We've never had this as a country.
Why would we?
Yeah, but let me just introduce you and bring you. Right? Deputy Political Leader and co-host Anthony Defoe.
Mike 2.
Say your good mornings. Yeah, I think
Mike
you might-
2, yeah.
Yeah.
Test 1, 2. You hear me?
Yep, I'm hearing.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing? How you doing this morning? We start. The pressure starts. Party starts. How's everything? Yeah, man, Philip, you're talking some good talk there with the road building process and I mean, again, it's no-brainer business, you know, but we seem to...
No, we had to go at the people who just want to talk. And you're talking on Facebook for likes and shares. You want to talk potholes? Let's talk potholes down to engineering.
Yeah.
Let's talk potholes down to the solution where people understand how a pothole is caused and why potholes should not exist on our roads. Let's talk it like that. When we tell people that we could solve the water problem in this country, they sound mad. Because they've never had a proper water solution in the country.
Yeah.
Because we have a centralized water and sewage pumping system that was augmented with a desalination plant from nowhere, that nobody knows the specifications with which it was built. I understand it sends potable water to Point Lisas. I didn't know that's what this Alcott was built for. We paying for that water, not the industries in Point Lisas, but stick a pin. How could you have a situation in Trinidad and Tobago where the Met Office is warning of drought, and 3 months ago, enough water fell on this country in one weekend
That could
to
supply
have
us for
provided
5 years.
10 years. 10 years. The water that remained
Yeah.
in Central, that cut off South, the water that remained on that road that took 2 weeks to go, that was a lake full of water.
Yes. Yes.
It's not that something was blocking the water, it was just a lot of water that was trying to make its way out to sea.
Yeah.
And it was so much water that if we had any mechanism, any facility, because you running drainage, you could talk to the Met Office and the engineers and the weather engineers and ask them, how much is our standard rainfall average for the last 50 years? Because that information is available. There are stations, Met Office stations in UE, in Piarco, different places throughout the country that measures the rainfall in inches and centimeters. How much centimeters, how much inches of rain. And an inch of rain is equivalent to X amount of rain. They have those numbers. They tell it us, we had 4 inches of rain. People don't know what the hell that means. Nobody know what I mean? 4 inches of rain, the rain was 4 inches long. Nobody knows. But we have to get people to understand that there is data. You collect data. You know how much rain can fall normal. So you account to hold that. And then you work out. There are forecasts. You hear that word? Forecasts. There are forecasts that tell us what our expected rainfall could be. On top of what we know we've gotten statistically, traditionally for the past 50 years, we have forecasts based on models, based on weather models from the world. We're not isolated. The Florida Weather Center is one of the most powerful weather tracking organizations in the world. Everybody takes their hurricane guidance from them. All the weather channels plugged right into that. So once you get your information from the Florida Weather Center, you know what's going on in Trinidad. And that's who the Met Office calls. They used to have a string outside the Met Office hang up on a piece of metal. And you used to go outside. They say, when you get a job there, they say, look at the string. If it's shaking, it's windy. If it's wet, rain falling. If it's dry, sunny conditions. That is our weather. No, but they replaced the string with a connection to the Florida. How many of us to say when you're hearing seas slight to moderate, waves up to 2 meters in open waters, less than 1 meter in shattered? We know that. We don't know what that means, but we know it by heart. We know it by heart because that's what they tell us. And what they don't tell us is how they manage it. Because if you have water that exceeds your anticipated or your capacity to manage, and you don't have a capacity to manage that situation based on forecasts or based on tradition or tracking or trends, if you don't have the ability to address increases increases of any kind, of any volume, then what are we doing? Woodbrook, when they built Movie Town Complex in Woodbrook, they changed the topography of everything else that was built for how water leaves. Because we have one water management policy in Trinidad and Tobago. Collect it in the hills, send it through the plains, out to sea. That's not water management. We waste rain. We get all the water that we need as a country 10 times over in normal rainfall. In just normal rainfall, Diego Martin alone could wash Trinidad 365 days a year. Diego Martin rainfall, just Diego Martin. If you were securing and using Diego Martin rainfall, Trinidad could never have a dry tap. We could never have a dry tap in this country. You have to understand that the failure of government to activate systems to manage higher than normal rainfall shows that you've never had a government in the business of managing this country.
That's right.
Because Kamla Prasad Bissessar, on her swearing in day, had to put on boots and go to the flood in Diego Martin. 2010. Remember that? On the swearing in, Kamla had to leave the swearing in as Prime Minister and go to Diego Martin and tour. That was 2010. We had one in 2010, one in 2012, one in 2014, we had one in 2016, we had one in 2018. So that could show you that every 2 years, give or take, we get higher than average rainfall. Quantify what that is. Quantify that.
But Philip, without crossing you, why do you think it is that, you know, we just don't seem to have the wherewithal to think along the lines that you and deal with the issues the way you're putting it across? Why?
One word.
We're supposed to have
One
a
word.
PhD.
Oh, you have more degrees than a thermometer in the parliament, but you want one word as an answer?
One word.
Corruption.
Right.
I want you to put yourself in Lianos and Company shoes, and Reed Monza in Diamond Vale, who made hundreds of millions of dollars making and selling water tanks in Trinidad and Tobago. A percentage of everybody's square footage when you're building a house in Trinidad and Tobago,
That's the cater for water.
they are a cater for a water tank.
Yeah.
That's right.
A friend of mine, Anthony Sinanan, he's a pepper, he's the leader of the PEP, Progressive Empowerment Party in Canada. He said, the weather was warm today, and I was doing some cleaning up around the house, and I had some extra paint, so I painted my water tanks, and I painted my wrought iron, and then he said, nah, just kidding, this is Canada. We don't need water tank and wrought iron. And that's an insult,
Yeah.
and he damn right.
Yeah.
When you work out what a person spends building their house that accounts for no water and crime is about a third of the value of the house. Your piping system is designed to go into a water tank first. Your house is built to treat with how will bandits and criminals access my house and how could I manage that? Yeah? Filling up the station this morning. Let's finish this one issue here because it's important. We need a microphone on this stand. Tony Ketchels, we're going to need a microphone for this stand. Because we have members from San Fernando.
Let him talk.
No. We're going to need it. We have other guests coming in. So tell Chairs we need a microphone on this stand. But John, it's just this, right? Just this. Decentralizing WASA. Decentralizing WASA.
Right.
You could do it by region. I went the extreme route to say, give every constituency, all 41 of them, the ability to manage their water. Chairs, we need a mic here. Give every constituency the ability to manage their own water. Yeah? Because if we did that, if that was done, if every constituency had a supervisor of public utilities and his responsibility, one of them, chief among them, would be to hold and treat and process and distribute that water only to the constituents of that constituency, then it will make sense because no taps will be dry again. And how would you do that? If you were in charge of managing Diego Martin West, for example, you would identify, does it make sense to use wells? Like we have wells in the savannah that are treating with water there. Does it make sense then does our constituency benefit from wells? Could it benefit from rainfall retention ponds? Could it benefit from dams? Could it benefit from desalination? Because we live on an island. We live on an island. And half of our constituencies, if not more, have a coastline. Yeah? So the truth of the matter is, our failure to manage, our failure to properly manage, we call it a water and sewage authority. But let's ask WASA. Let's ask them. What are you doing with that remit? How is it possible? And let me just say good morning to Guy Jarrett Tambi. He's the caretaker for what constituency? Princestown. He's joining us this morning. Say good morning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to the panel. I am the caretaker, the proud caretaker for Princestown for the Progressive Empowerment Party. I want to say it's a pleasure to be here because not often that you get to voice your concerns at this level, because the present political atmosphere doesn't afford us that privilege.
Janice, you getting his volume?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Let's focus on this and slow down the rest of the moving parts in the studio. Continue. We're going to distract the guests.
Right, good. I want to talk a bit about Princestown, and as I walked in, I heard you speaking about water management. Princestown is basically what used to be a large farming community, and with the advent of the last two administrations, that has fallen apart. Because with the closure of Caroni, because if you know
When you say farming, sugar farming mostly?
Both, because when you're a sugarcane farmer, remember you have to wait a whole year for the crop to finish, and then you start back the next year.
You can explain that to me? You can explain that to us?
Right.
How does that, so it's one crop a year for sugar?
Right, it's one crop per year.
When do you
Unlike
plant?
Guyana, which is two crops per year.
So what is it growing, what's the growing time for cane?
It's 6 to 7 months.
How Guyana getting 2 crops?
They probably grow a different type of sugarcane. They have a different type of climate.
Alright.
They have
So close to us and their climate so different?
Yes, because it's the mainland, and they have like something like 2 dry seasons for the year.
Okay.
And always the land of water,
Right.
they have almost 2 dry seasons a year, and that allows them to get into the sugarcane field. The problem is not how fast the crop grows, is the fact that the rainy season prevents you from doing the amount of transport in the sugarcane field.
Right.
It's muddy, it's deep, you create ravines when you're going. So
But
dry
sugar is
weather-
a grass, right?
yeah, it's the grass.
Sugar is a
It's
grass.
a bamboo actually.
Okay, but all of those bamboo, grass,
Yeah.
sugar, all of that grows wild out the ground.
Yeah,
I still see places that was
The
part of
remnants of
Caroni
the whole field.
with sugar,
yeah.
growing sugar
In
cane.
fact, the people are capitalizing on it now. People are going into the old Caroni fields and cutting cane and
Selling cane,
juice.
because I've seen cane juice and
Yes.
cane selling in the groceries, cut up cane. So it will grow.
Yes, it will grow.
What was so expensive then about cane as an industry and sugar? I just want to ask you this as an aside. What was so expensive? Because I don't understand this. If the grass itself, like the oil that bubbles out the ground, cane doesn't need for you to stand up there and pray over it.
No.
Cane will grow like
No.
razor grass grows.
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
So the growing of the cane was not an expensive, high maintenance
No.
proposition. So the issue then would have been harvesting the cane and processing it into sugar.
Right.
So all of the costs that made it cost prohibitive to deal with sugar as an industry in Trinidad and Tobago had to deal with failure to manage.
To manage.
Failure to manage. Say it again. Failure to manage. Because high fructose corn syrup that has made its way as a staple into Trinidad and Tobago's diet is bad for you.
No, you're going down a serious road.
I want to go down this
because
road.
now-
Because I want to tell you something, guy, and I'm going to say this to you as you're here. The Progressive Empowerment Party wants to bring sugar back as a crop in this country. Organic sugar sells for 8 and 10 times what normal sugar sells for.
And we buying sugar from Guyana that has 50%
Notice.
filler in it.
Notice.
It's just filler. You drink.
Notice.
I disgusted. I want to throw my teeth.
Throw away the tea.
I'm
Throw away the
serious.
tea. Throw it away. Throw away your tea. When last you drink tea with Guyana sugar? I don't know what Janice and
Brother,
Chess
I
were
tried
doing
to
here.
make sugar cake and it not crystallizing
Yeah?
because I love to cook curry up. So what I do is I squeeze my own coconut milk. The coconut that remains growing up, we would make sure I take with it. So I attempted. I told my fiance. I said, put some sugar to boil. Let's make some syrup and let's make some sugar.
Right.
Don't throw away coconut.
Right.
After I squeeze out milk, don't throw it. That
Right.
thing never crystallized, Philip.
So it's like plastic.
It not crystallizing. So
Yeah.
the problem with our sugar industry is that two things you just mentioned. The most dangerous part I found is that they stop the sugar so that other people could import sugar.
The
and make money.
European Union paid our government. I think we're gonna stick a pin until Chess and Janice finish. Let's just wait a minute. No, we don't. Chess still here. I'm gonna wait. It's very distracting. Sorry, I wanna say. Chess, you done? You all got it sorted out? One thing, the coffee cup. But we'll stop coming and doing radio shows here. Throw mine away from me. Right, let's get back to this. Chess, you cannot do this. I am talking for a living for 3 hours. Yeah. Let's do
We
this.
never saw that money. Nobody saw that money. Nobody saw that money.
The
Nobody,
European Union money that was sent here to shut down the sugar industry. Where that money went?
Nobody knows where that went.
No, come the man Vasan Bharat and Devon Miraj and them was talking about that plenty.
Yeah, where they could talk about it. But them fellas is a set of talk.
Farmers didn't get the money.
No, they are 50%.
Farmers got land and money.
No, some of the farmers.
Which farmers then?
Just not all the farmers. There's still thousands of farmers quarreling to get their land.
So where are those farmers? And why are they not speaking up?
Because for decades they have had spokesperson who have failed them and have sold out to the establishment.
So Princess Town was predominantly a farming community.
Right.
What percentage was growing sugar?
The whole of Princess Town was
The
sugar.
whole of Princess Town was sugar. So when they shut down Caroni, what were the people of Princess Town supposed to do?
Go and work KFC. That is the idea that is being perpetuated now.
So you're trying to tell me these monkey mechanics couldn't carve Caroni up into acre plots or 5-acre plots? Do the math. Tell me what a man could be responsible for. Give him responsibility to grow, harvest, bring, weigh, get paid.
But that was one of the proposals when they were going to shut it down.
You mean like the
farm-
proposal that was supposed to happen to
for
Petrochem?
Petrochem, yeah.
So these people are in the business of selling out the patrimony of this country, cutting the people loose to become slave wage earners, twirl a baton for a security
Bigger
firm.
than that, I'm scared. Because when they do that, they dismantle the support system that grows the middle class. When you take off that middle class,
But what happened to your communities? What happened to your communities if generations grow up working Tate and Lyle that became Caroni Limited, sugar built Trinidad and Tobago?
I have a niece who don't know what sugar cane look like.
Sugar built Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, it did, and it could still carry. I don't understand how these people think. How do you expect to run a country when you can't even feed it? How you could run your family and not feed your family? Forget about being competitive on the international market. When Caroni closed down, it was the beginning of the end. It started a trend that it's...
Do you know why? I wanna accelerate. Do you know why we have an obesity epidemic in the world?
Yes, because they have westernized our diet.
But worse than that, the problem with the Western diet, and the Americans afraid to admit this to the world, is wheat, corn, and high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup, because of the nature of the kernel of what you're using, is an immature kernel, and it's still trying to grow. It sends a genetic code to whatever eats it to grow.
That's right, it's genetically modified.
Right. So we have a situation where the same diet, you could be drinking the same Cokes, eating the same burger and fries, but the introduction of high fructose corn syrup to the diet detonated it and made and sent a message to your body to store this as fat.
And that started in the 80s. I remember when I was a child.
The
My
United
father-
States of America realized that global hegemony was based on food.
Yep.
Who control the food control the world. When you go in Massy stores, 70% of the aisles is different combinations of wheat, corn, milk, high fructose corn syrup. Check it out.
Yep.
Different combinations of those 4 industries: dairy, high fructose corn syrup, wheat, and corn. all the different things. The same material that they use to make cheeses and corn kernels, they used to make cornflakes. They used to make a lot of the binding for a lot of the processed foods that we buy in packs, tins. Tony, you know that?
No.
A lot of these things, pasta, all of these things come from the same raw material. So that what they want to do is to say to Trinidad and Tobago, you can decide what you think you want to do. If 90% of your food coming from me, and I turn off that food, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And we live in a country that could feed itself.
But they fooled us. They fooled the people then. They did a fake study and said, listen, coconut oil going to give you heart problems. And they start feeding us with corn oil.
Yeah.
I remember Mazola corn oil.
Yeah.
My father used to buy them by the gala.
Yeah.
We were poor, but he insisted that we buy a
because they knew how to fool poor people.
Then
They knew how to fool poor people.
Then
And
30 years later-
plenty people made themselves millionaires.
30 years later, they're telling us now about virgin coconut oil. When they already take away the coconut oil 30 years ago. Give us corn oil, right? And now coming back to tell us, feed us our, when the coconut industry, now they're telling us that coconut oil is the way to go. And they giving us coconut oil. The people, Trinidad and Tobago, who was the copra capital of the Caribbean, now importing green coconuts to you. We importing green coconuts from Suriname and Guyana.
Guyana shipping coconut water as far as England.
Yes,
Most of the coconut water consumed in Trinidad and Tobago right now coming from Guyana.
yes, fishermen are giving up fish. They are going up the Essequibo. I was there in Guyana and saw it happen. They a coconut and sell it.
I want to bring it back to the community. A farming constituency, yes?
Yes.
Do you think that we have enough farmers that we could begin the process of making this country food self-sufficient and food independent?
More than enough.
More than enough.
We have enough to make an agro economy. Because we grow.
Talking about here, so they pull in and they block in and they block in the
Yeah.
broadcast. This is Trinidad and Tobago. The whole conversation before was normal. Sure, keep your eye on that. Continue.
So the support systems are not there for farmers. We are on the brink of a drought. I am telling you, because I saw 7 years of weather that was crazy. And I know what goes up must come down. Right? Nature has a way of taking back. Scientists can say what they want.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. And I have never irrigated plants in December months. I found myself irrigating plants in December
What do
months.
you grow?
Pawpaw. I grow pawpaw.
Where does your pawpaw go when it's harvested?
The stream water running in it.
But what happened to all the rain that fell 3 months ago? They didn't
Right,
save
that's
it.
that's what I heard you speaking about, and that hit me because if we had people
Retention
in
ponds,
power
yeah.
to put that system in place where you have every constituency managing their own water.
Princess Town had enough water.
You ever see Usain Pond? That water, millions of gallons of water. They put a golf course next to it. And farmers need water like that. That pond is going to dry up. All those million gallons of water are going to dry up and nobody's going to use it. If you could
And the
put
chemicals that keeps a golf course lawn looking that shade of
yeah,
green
it have no fish in Usain
that
Pond anymore.
fools the world is
Right.
going to poison that
It
water.
poisoned it already.
Poison the water.
Because I went at the
But we don't give a damn.
Right. I went at the fishing.
We don't give a damn in this country, you know, guy. I want to tell them, we don't care about you, you know.
No, they don't.
They don't care about you and your family and your neighbors and your community. Your job is to serve them. Eric Williams told this nation Massa Day done and he lied. What he said is what he wanted to say was Massa face change.
Right.
I say slavery never went away. It just got digitally remastered. It never went
The
away.
PNM is the remix.
Yes.
Remix is joke. They make a whole new mix altogether.
The PNM is the remix.
A whole new mix.
Massa
Whole new
Day
mix.
get worse under Eric Williams.
You know how good it would be, Philip, if every constituency had
But
You don't
retention
want-
ponds.
everything gonna burn down. The hills gonna look like you're shoring artillery shells up there
Yeah.
this year, you know?
Clarence Rambarat. I have on my Facebook, waiting for elections time, conversation Professor Clarence Rambarat, then a Express columnist Clarence Rambarat, then the minister. If you're not getting me on social media, turn on the radio 104.7. I see they're trying to jam the broadcast and you need this information. Then Express columnist, he and I had a conversation. If you look at the mountain behind St. Finbar's Church,
Yeah.
that starts as Goodwood Park. That mountain, years ago, during the same 7-year drought cycle, used to be like, but it burnt itself flat. And I spoke about how to recede that mountain. We said, give us Clarence Rambarat and I said to Kamala, give us 1 million trees and we will mobilize the labor. Because we had some rainy seasons, that massive drought that going to take place here, it have left gone. They're going to raise it to the ground. And then the next time we get a heavy rainfall, because there is nothing holding the mountain.
You could stop all that, you know. You're antique.
Correct.
Those
But they have a wild grass called vetiver that engineers and architects will tell you that on an exposed hillside, plant it, and it will send its roots in so deep and hold the face of the mountain. Second line after that, if we go in and plant, right? If we go in and plant, so what's up? Plant guava. You ever get lashed with a guava whip?
garden because they grow in tree fire pass. And the first now we have the big teak trees, but the floor now is no other plant does that. Growing up, I would hear my grandfather them saying that teak loves fire because it burns away all the other competing shrubs, and the teak alone survives. They go on and plant
A building.
yeah,
Ficus will move a building. A ficus tree, salmon tree. The governor, which governor it was Woodford or Picton that brought the cow trees to Trinidad. One of those two governors brought salmon trees to Trinidad. They called them cow trees for a while because they brought them to plant those trees in pastures so that farmers could bring their cows for shade. That's why we have salmon trees in Trinidad. They were brought here for shade because they grow those big shady trees. But if you're driving past where Blue Waters was allowed to build the Blue Water factory tapping into the public aquifer, if you drive past there, that tree line that you're watching there that look like a wall, that's ficus.
Yeah.
Ficus has given you the best tree line. It's grow fast, it's grow deep, and it's grow hard. When it's time to move a ficus, you stick a pin. I guess you have some ads to run. It's 10 o'clock on the dot.
Yes.
Go ahead, run your ads, Janice, and we will come back at this. Hold tight, Trinidad and Tobago. To those of you following me on social media, we're seeing what is being done. Stay. If you get bumped off, sign back in. We will manage it. We take a break for a minute.
A constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the...
Just I don't know what the rest of the people is doing. They stay in the place without their water. They keep here for 3 hours. So this show will end today if I can't bring a bottle of water inside here. So understand that? So understand that? I will tell Robert. I no problem. So if you, so you tell him what I say. You working for him. Tell him I say here for 3 hours.
Yes, but anyway, you suggest that you want to call me.
Alright, cool.
I can't relate message. Yes, I'm saying. I don't relate message.
I know, but still, seriously, it's a ridiculous policy.
When it finish play, right, you said to stop. So then I bring this down.
No.
I'll just take this back up. Oh, I have to-
Tony, you understand this?
Okay, right.
They stop like this.
Yeah, the ads running.
Right now, I'm not watching the ads.
So when it stops,
Our ads running.
yes, push stop.
Cheers, our pep ads running.
The ad is here to be played to put them.
But it running outside of this show.
I don't know, I have to talk to Robert about it. You know these things I can already talk about.
But I don't understand. We're entitled to 32 ads a day. They said Sharon says it plays all day. Just give it to Chess and Chess will put it in the system. So is it in the system?
What I'm saying is just speak to Robert about it. I cannot talk about the system. You can't put me on compromising position. I cannot
Not at
talk
all.
about
I'm
the
saying to you
Yeah.
that
It's supposed to
it's
be
supposed to
like
be that way. So does Tony have to call Sharon Amar or Robert Amar for every issue that need fixing? All right, we'll deal with that. Tony, you will address that, please. And I know my social media followers are hearing this entire exchange of conversation, but I want you all to see a lot of what is required to run a political party. Behind the scenes, when you break for an ad, we don't sit down here and drink rum and smoke cigarettes. Walk after walk. Yeah? So all those who are outside there yammering away about creating a political party, check and see what they're doing when they're not posting. Yeah?
Progressive Empowerment Party invites all of TNT to our grand second anniversary celebration and gala opening of our South Regional Office on Saturday, January 19th, 6 p.m. at 137 Manahamri Road, St. Madeleine.
Janice, before we leave here today, make sure that ad is in rotation throughout the day.
Address
Yeah?
the important issues of the day. Come meet and greet your constituency caretakers and shadow MPs. Live entertainment, secure parking, light refreshments, and limited seating available to connect.
Is the setup, is the transmitter.
Call
It's getting cheaper and cheaper, but it's the transmitter and the license. You gotta pay the license bribe. The license bribe is big money.
fastest growing, most exciting.
Or if you're Louis leasing and you have a PNM connection, you get it fast. If you're the Hindu community, you use Satmaraj and you sue them and you take them to the Privy Council. I show you that.
Price, conveniently located at Trent City, Kufa, and Endeavour Road, Shoguanas. Come experience the comfort, ease of shopping from your one-stop for variety. Look out for weekly specials. For further details, call 223-9715. Super quality, never beaten on price.
It's finally here. Hitman Howie D presents his first Carnival and Soca I Love Hula Cruise. It's old Soca versus new Soca and Chutney. Sunday, 27th January. We sail on the Big Harbor Master. Boarding time 9 a.m. Sailing 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Featuring Walla Tunji. Third base.
Right, what do you want? Any culture. Shake where your mama give.
Tony Prescott. And Raymond Run the Ride. Your DJs, TC, Reese T, Mr. Voice, DJ Miguel, and the master of old school, Hitman Howie D. Howie D. We're white to represent old soca, black for new soca, and red for chutney. Early bird tickets are $150. Late bird tickets.
How many ads there?
Now, King, Sports Bay, Fats International.
How many ads are there? So start cracking up with us for Soca I Love Hula Cruise. Sunday, 27th January. So, that name that you have on Facebook
This
is your name?
a paid political program.
Guy
at
Giant.
104 Wednesday.
Push all the mics back up.
Okay, we are back on live.
Okay, we're back on. This is political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, Philip Edward Alexander. I am here with Deputy Political Leader Anthony Defoe,
Good morning, Trinidad.
Janice
Tobago.
Lemon Creaky, PRO of the PEC Party. Yeah? And Guy Jarrett Tambi, who is the caretaker for Princestown, who is one of the members that you're going to meet this Saturday, January 19th at 6 p.m. at our launch of our South Regional Office at Manahambre. Tony, what is the correct address?
137 Manahamri Road.
St. Madeleine.
St. Madeleine.
Tell them, give them some guidance and some directions how to get there.
Guy?
If you're coming from San Fernando, it's the building on the right before train stop bar. It's just across the old St. Madeleine River, the bridge, just across the bridge.
And what's that? Is it a pavilion?
It's the St. Madeleine Recreation Ground.
Right, it's the
where they
Madeleine
play all the
Recreation
windball.
Ground. Right.
It's just at the Four Roads Junction where the old train line was.
Okay.
At the entrance to the M2 ring road.
Okay.
Right? So Trinidad and Tobago, make it happen. South, make it happen. Come down on Saturday, 6 p.m., 137 Manahambre Road. Again, this is all for you, Trinidad and Tobago. This is for you. It's information. Allow yourself to have that information so you can make better decisions. That's the bottom line.
If you're coming from town and you turn by South Park, you come up on the ramp there, you don't go on the other ramp, you come on the first ramp that we used to, the only ramp it was for a while.
Right, yeah.
You come up that ramp and you turn left and you come to that junction. What is that junction?
That is, they call that the link up. That is Palmyra Junction.
Palmyra Junction. You turn right
You
there.
turn right and you head down to Coquille.
You head down to Coquille and you reach this yellow building. What's that junction by that yellow building by the church? What's that called?
Actually, St. Clement's Junction.
That's St. Clement's Junction.
Yeah.
And once you hit that road, you turn
turn
left
left.
there. You can't miss it.
And
Because
you
once you
follow
cross
it
the
from
bridge, you're going to see all the orange flags.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me I give directions like a real Chinny. Turn by the cow, turn by the dog. No, but attention, if you're hearing fire on the radio this morning, it's because we vex. We vex because Guy Jarrett Tambi is in here today to talk about the poverty and the frustration and the depression in Princestown. That is this way because of cold, heartless people who have used government to their own criminal enrichment and have created out of the PNM and the UNC two puppet parties that they operate to their criminal enrichment. The UNC and the PNM are two racist sides of the same corrupt coin, representing something we call the contract mafia. People who ass was dragging in the ground 40 years ago, multi-millionaires today. I went to school, St. Mary's College, with some boys. The mother used to come and pick them up in a big old grey Belmont. The door falling off. When you're driving, you had to hold the door on. Today, they worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Bill Gates kind of money. How you move from there to there in a country of 1 million people? Will you sell? Will you sell?
We don't have goal here.
No, Tony, what did you sell to move from 1 generation ago? Dragging. You're living in a 1,000 square foot house in Woodbrook, rain falling, coming through the roof. You know which bucket is for where to catch water when rain fall. And now you own half of Fairways. Will you sell? And I'm telling Trinidad and Tobago, the Progressive Empowerment Party give me parliamentary privilege. You want to find out where all the money gone? I have asked Anne-Marie Dulal, the party's chief research officer, to total every budget we have ever had. You see how at the end of the year they say $60 billion? I want to know 2018, 60 billion. 2017, 60 billion. 2016, 59. Whatever's the number, add it all up. Because we've been independent for 20,440 days, give or take. That don't sound like a lot of days. And Keith Rowley says we spend $140 million a day now. I want to find out what we used to spend then. Because the $140 million a day now is $32 billion. You're not accounting for $28 billion out of your budget.
Right.
And I want to know where that money going.
Right. Question.
The $140 million, Janice, that we spend in a day now, we need $140 million and $1 to move the cable that's on the side of the road 2 weeks now. We need $140 million and $2 to fix the pothole here on Polkaro Street that some good citizen made. Went and find steel, went and find red cloth to make a flag to warn others. To warn others. The other morning, a B-14 breakdown in Cocorite and back up 35,000 people into Diego Martin, Westmoreland, Carenage, Petty Valley.
1 way out.
And trap them for 3 hours. And you know what the sycophants saying? Why they didn't get out and push the car. and I want to say to those clowns, yes, but this car, no, but forget that. Forget that. No, we push it till it reach where they're going. That is, we walk so he can be happy that his government don't look like jackasses. But let's stick a pin. That car couldn't push because the axle had fallen out, so he can't move. You trying to tell me one car in Cocorite could cause that traffic and there don't be nobody? In Germany, there is no main road in Germany that eyeballs not watching constantly. In England, there are screens and people are watching every intersection and they're watching every road. The road and traffic management is a serious business and they watch and they monitor to see what is causing that traffic. They dispatch. Dispatch immediately. 3 hours, RB14 shut Trinidad down. 35,000 people coming out of Goodwood Park, Glencoe, Shorelands, Petty Valley, all of Diego Martin from River Estate and Bagatelle and Rich Plain coming right down the road. All the children trying to go to school. You know how much children reach the school 3 hours late that morning? You're trying to tell me that we don't have the capacity to dispatch with our blue lights leading it, a wrecker, pick him up and take him one time to an impound lot somewhere? You trying to tell me for $140 million a day, we can't do that? We can't do that?
How much a day? 140
Why
million.
they have to send the garbage truck to park on Cocorite on a Monday morning to take all the Cocorite rubbish that take 2 hours to offload? Why that same garbage truck can't go on a Sunday when they have nobody on the road? Why? Why? Why do we keep voting these same incompetent monkey mechanics into government who've made a mockery of the quality of life in this country? Nothing works. Not one thing. There is nobody in Trinidad and Tobago besides the very rich who feeding on the trough who think they're a little bit happy, but they're scared and they're panicking too because they know danger lurking in this country at every corner because nothing works. Nothing works. Let's be real. Let's look into the beast. When you go on some of these threads where these paid sycophants and these talking heads defending it, it's like they have no heart. When you hear these stories, I mean, this country should hold its head in collective shame for two names. There are a million names, but for two names, Akil Chambers and Christopher Phillip. Akil Chambers would have been 32 years old today, raped and murdered in a high-class party, left in the bottom of a pool, and nobody brought to justice. Christopher Phillip was that gentleman that they videotaped crawling around on the hospital lawn.
Yeah, boy. That.
To this day, we've never received a proper explanation. And in a real country, the CEO would have been fired if he couldn't explain how somebody that came to your hospital ended up dead on the lawn.
Yeah.
People film that man dying.
Imagine a boy.
People film. Janice, imagine if that was your father.
But Philip, you know how that disturbed me. That really disturbed me when I see that boy. That disturbed me for
But
months.
it doesn't stop disturbing me, and I'm telling you.
Yeah, a vision of something like that could never leave.
Yeah,
It will never
boy.
leave. It scars
But you can't tell me the man was inside the hospital and they put him outside the hospital and leave him there to dead. Eh? That, in its most simple explanation as to what went on there is heartbreaking.
Right.
Your purpose as a medical institution is to give the help which is necessary to the citizens, especially in a private hospital.
Kamala, Rowley, Pandey, Manning, $100 billion spent on public health. 100,000 million in those 4 terms. And we can't get nothing right.
All again is Panadol.
You can't get Panadol, and I'm not even joking anymore.
Nah, but right now
you can't get
Panadol.
nothing
You're
right.
You're right.
I have doctors calling me, Philip, don't jam we, you know. Don't jam we. I hear. I clock my card and I here to work. But they have no stretcher. They have no sheet. They have no nurse. They can't get blood bottles for a transfusion. We have no bandage. $100,000 million spent. Where that money gone?
Yep.
Ask these questions of these criminals. This clown of a prime minister come on TV with graphs. We had enough money in this country to run this country for the next 100 years. Where that money? You're telling me we suffering now? Fine. Where the money from before?
That's right.
You march up and down this country for Section 34. You and David Abdullah pull hair out all your head. Rowley ain't man no hair now. You march till your shoes fall apart. You bring the whole OWTU. Oh God, Section 34 is a crime against humanity. Not one person see a day in court.
Yeah.
Not one charge. You reach jail. Not one charge. Not one prosecution for the public to follow. Nothing.
That's right.
Nothing. All of that to grind the country to a halt. All of the criminality. When you think about what took place as Section 34 corrupted every office of state, you know. The government conspired to write a fraudulent law to free people wanted for criminal acts that their co-conspirators had confessed to, pay their fines, and went to jail in Miami.
That's right.
Guterres and the other one went to jail.
Yeah.
They make up the bed in Ish and Steve jail cell waiting for them in Miami. I'm not joking, I'm serious.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
In this country, the government, the Attorney General, the Minister of Legal Affairs, the Minister of Justice, here in 3 offices now. No oversight. Write a law. The whole parliament vote, Section 34 is law. You know it become law? While the country distracted, fireworks in the sky. In the dead of night, in the middle of a long weekend for independence, the President of the Republic, the Prime Minister, the Attorney General met in secrecy and declare and make that a law. That was the criminal act of itself.
Yeah.
The conspiracy, the level of conspiracy that Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her government and then President Max Richards engaged in. Because you telling me as the president, they call you to say, we need you to assent a law. No problem. Tuesday morning. Monday's holiday.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning, I will wake up 9 o'clock, see me at 10. Now you want this law now?
Yeah.
Is the country at war?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are the Martians coming?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I was Max
Yeah.
Richards, I asking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
No,
an
but that-
invasion imminent?
That's right. That's right.
Why do you need this law assented to in the dead of night?
Correct.
So Ish and Steve could go Tuesday morning and lodge their case straight out the gate. We qualify under Section 34 to have our matter vacated. Before it was even gazetted that the law passed, Ish and Steve, the conspiracy that Ish and Steve knew that Section 34 was passed before anybody else in the country. And the only people who knew are those who gathered in dark conspiracy, the President, the Prime Minister, the Attorney General. I am saying to Trinidad and Tobago, we are a shameful, disgusting little nation that we tolerate and allow things like that to be our legacy. Not one person. Keith Rowley is Prime Minister now. He had to use treasonous email gate to force the issue. He is Prime Minister now under all of that. And he is not bringing one person, not a hearing, not a public hearing, not an interview, not a letter in the nothing. So Section 34 happened and gone.
Yeah. Just so.
Email gate that said people were conspiring to kill Denise Rain, the journalist. That the Prime Minister and the opposite and the Attorney General and her communication advisor, who's the now Commissioner of Police, was going to bug the DPP office to prevent him prosecuting Ish and Steve. That is what Keith Rowley said to the Parliament. Nothing. Nothing come out of that. How could these same people, how could the same Jack Warner and Rudal Munila and Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Vasan Bharat, Herbert Volney, how could these same people be talking politics in this country?
Yeah.
Kamla says she bundled Bodhi and Baji to go to law school.
Yeah.
So she understands the power of farming. Guy Jarrett and me sitting here today to tell you, Princess Tong dead. They killed Princess Tong. You get the power of the Prime Minister's office. And you didn't bring agriculture back. But you give your friends and your finances and your partners acres of Caroni food land.
Acres, hundreds of acres. I know right now where people have PNM and UNC financiers have been given over 200 acres of land and they are not farmers.
Brother,
And
the
it's
head
just their
of the EMBD give himself 100 acres of land
See?
as Nutrimix.
All right.
He is the head of the man in charge of estate management. He give himself the land.
100 acres of land, just so. And you have currently workers right now, brother.
Eating mud.
Waiting for their land.
Children eating
Hear me
mud.
now, man. Hear me.
Growing bygone and tomato in pot.
And it was the same Kamala that said, I will be here for you.
She bundled Bodhi and Baji to make boy.
And that is why Rowley is saying we have no land for agriculture
Yeah.
because in
They
his
take
mind
all.
it is not for agriculture,
That's
it is for
right.
his friends
And
and the financiers.
That's right. That's right. They have
I
a
could tell you
plan.
places now because there's a statute that says
You will take me, I will go.
Yes,
And we
sir.
will do it live. And Trinidad will see.
there's a statute that says that listen, when you are given lease land, government state lands on lease, you are allowed to build a particular size of building. They didn't say that the building has to be for agriculture. So these men are taking 100 acres, 250 acres, and putting building on it that has nothing to do with agriculture. Other businesses that has nothing to do
But
with
now all you
agriculture.
have to do is take a piece of agriculture land in Tobago and get your friend who is the Minister of Planning to give you a change of use. So you buy it for $1 acre and you get a change of use, and then you build a housing project. And you sell them houses and you make a windfall. Find out what kind of landate was in Tobago. Your Prime Minister built a housing project in Tobago on farmland. That's what landate was first and foremost. This is a criminally corrupt country run by criminals in high office. And until the people of this country take responsibility for their country, we will never, ever come out from where we are, stuck, watching people, the daring and the bold, engage in such sophisticated conspiracies to defraud, plunder, and pillage this nation. If Princestown was a farming community today, would Princestown be thriving?
Of course, it would be.
Yeah.
It would be, but we have
What would you grow?
before.
Is pawpaw a lucrative business?
It is, but it's also a risky business.
No, but it's lucrative. Why is it risky?
Because 2 showers of rain too many, and you lose. Last year I lose over $250,000.
But that is par for the course in farming. You have to plan. I want to say, while you don't want that to happen, you learn how to manage.
Of course, you learn how to manage it from there.
But if what would happen with too much rain? It prevents it from growing further.
No, it causes diseases in the roots and the fruits of the plant.
Okay, so I'm asking you this, right? So you're selling ripe pawpaw now
Yeah.
to market. That's what you're selling, right? But if you get a deluge of rain that you know going to spoil the crop, can you not still harvest the fruits at whatever stage they're at and sell them for use in how these confectioners using it to make...
There's raw products like matooks, right? To make ketchup.
Right.
Ketchup is not tomatoes. Yeah?
I tell them that. Ketchup is not tomato.
Ketchup
Ketchup
is not
stopped
tomato.
being tomato long time ago. Ketchup flavor.
You here making ketchup with $20 a pound tomato.
Janice, when you coming out, when you
But that ketchup weigh $100.
when you come out of Cookery,
Uh-huh.
when West Shore is on your right,
Right.
on your left, there's a building. You see the sign, Stewart Brothers.
Yes.
You know what they do there?
No.
They make flavors. That's all they do.
Flavor.
You
Artificial
could
flavor.
make
Artificial
you could
flavors.
make shrimp flavored sweet drink.
Yeah.
You could make fish flavored sweetie. You could make anything you want. When we talk about earlier, there's something called substrate that they use.
Right.
A mash of corn and filler that you pass through an extruder. You could mold that into anything, you know. When you go in McDonald's and Burger King and you buy chicken nuggets, the percentage of chicken in that is not very high, you know.
Everything is filler.
They have words in the industry. Mouthfeel. If you bite, do you know how much people buy ham in this country for Christmas that wasn't really ham?
No, you're kidding.
If it don't have a bone in it, chances are you bought reconstituted ham. You didn't know
I
that?
wonder how many people out there know that.
But they don't know that. But anyway, back to you. So you could sell this, so you could still manage to salvage.
No, but I don't. Because the cost of salvaging it is what they
Right.
give you. Because it cost me almost $2 a pound to produce it.
Right.
The guys in that industry, they want to pay you $1.50 a pound. I said to hell was with that.
And
I
Trinidadian
push
will
down
think
the
that's
whole field.
Trinidadian will think that is just 50 cents. With that 50 cents loss, but when you're talking thousands of trees.
No, it costing me
A
more
lot
to
of
harvest
money.
it.
Yeah,
It costing me
yeah.
more to harvest it than they are paying me. So I just spray
But
it.
is there any way, okay, forget Matooks, forget locals. Is there any way, that I just ask it, so that the public can know, I want to know. Is there any way to harvest it and process it yourself?
No.
Is there any facility that if the government built a facility for all farmers to have access to food processing machinery?
No, and then you carry me straight back to Caroni there. Because it's the
No, I'm not telling you that you have to supply. The problem with Caroni was that you had to deal with Caroni.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you could book a time at the machines to process your own stuff and then decide what you're doing with it.
There was once a place like that, but finances set them back. Taba. the Trinidad Agro processing something.
Right.
Right. But they disappeared off the face of the earth because it was costing them too much money.
But what about a cooperative of farmers underpinned by the government? This is, I just looking at things and I'm looking for solutions. Because you need to safeguard the farmers. You need to protect our farmers.
But what you are saying is right, but they are not interested in that because agriculture.
Who's the they? Who not interested in it?
Okay.
Are the farmers interested?
The farmers are interested in it, but the people who are running the business on the other side, on both sides of the production line, I am producing pawpaw, but that is only a minuscule part of agriculture. People like FT Farfon are the men who make all the millions in agriculture because they are selling us fertilizer, right? And the guys on the other side of the fence, who upstream and downstream industries, we make the least amount of money. Now, if we have our own processing, then guys like Matux and Taipan and all those fellas who do processing, they won't make any money. So, and they are fellas who have funds hooked into the government system. So they're not interested in our well-being, right? It's a plantation industry. We plant and they make all the money.
Exploitation.
They make all the money,
Exploitation.
right? They probably
That sounds like exploitation to me. We are on 104.7. We're going to be taking your calls in 1 minute, 628-9595, 628-3131. We will be taking your calls on 628-9595, 628-3131. We have Guy Jarrett Amby in here with us today. And we're talking about Princess Town. And Princess Town is a farming constituency that has been left, I guess, to wither and die.
die.
To use a farming analogy, has been left to wither and die.
Die.
Call in if you want to add your 2 cents. Farmers, we're talking to you. Janice said light it up already. Wait now, I need to get headphones. Where's the black bag?
Yes, you're there. Morning. Just hold on a moment.
Yeah, we gotta get headphones.
Hold on a second.
Give guy one.
Yeah, hello. Just hold a second. Putting on our earphones.
Right. Yeah, I can start the conversation. Hello, good morning.
Go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Thank you. Right.
Yes, I'm still here.
Where that carbon?
Hello?
All right, thank you, caller. 628-9595, 628-3131. We're taking your calls. To those of you who are following us on social media, there is, I guess you have to listen. We have no way to give you the calls right now. So, we'll take that call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
And it's still there? When did that fire take place? How long ago? How long ago that fire? Last week, so a car burnt on the side of the road by Coca-Cola.
Cannings.
It's still called Cannings or Caribbean Bottlers. But I mean, we will always know it as Cannings. Thanks a lot to Jamon Michael Scott who's sharing the 104.7. I don't know if that stays a lot. Yeah. Correct. But if you know that and you are just a labor looking on and they have engineers paid to do this who can't fix it, we need to understand that they don't want to fix it. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot, caller. 628-9595, 628-3131. Hello, good morning. You're on. Hello. Turn on your radio, please, ma'am. Give us a little bit feedback. No problem at all. Insanity. That is insanity.
They have already done so. 3 places. There's Bonington, so there's about five settlements there
But
already.
the caller is she's raising the interest because she wants to know it's common sense. We want to feed ourselves, but we building house on farmland. It's ridiculous. Good soil. But a progressive empowerment party government will relocate those people, throw down those houses and any building that built, regardless of what it built for, and put back all fertile farmland back in the hands of farmers. Job one is feed this nation. Feed this nation. Ma'am, we ignoring Dr. Rowley altogether. If he ain't know it yet, he in the parliament 32 years. If he don't know it yet, you think we could teach him? That's like trying to teach a fish how to ride a bike. More protests? Caller, I don't want to disrespect what you're saying. I hear you and I love your passion. But I want to tell you, the only solution to the farmers right now is to vote that cares about food production. And the PEP is the only political organization that says we will return farmlands to farmers, that says we will support farming as job one. So, I think Kamala ever said that actually. I don't think she ever said that. So I think that they had a chance. And it is time. If one man treats you bad and the next man treats you bad, you go back to the first man. Find a new man. Have a lovely day, my friend. Thank you. You too, man. Thanks for the call. Thank you. Hello, good day. Hello, good day.
Morning.
Plenty as a carpenter. As a carpenter. I like that very much. Thank you, caller. Thank you. 628-9595, 628-3131. Call right in. We want to hear you. Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for that,
Well
caller.
said, well
Thank you for that.
said.
Thank you for that. Uncle, thank you for that. I want to tell you one more thing, though. I am very politically sexy. Vote for me. Hello, good morning. Hey, morning.
Morning.
US or TT? Yeah, but that's joke money. That's supposed to be bigger money than that by now. But of course, it have to be Clarence Rambert. I keep saying, Clarence Rambert is a lawyer, a professor in Canada, a columnist. The man is intelligent enough to know how to help farmers grow food. Hitmen for hire, yes. Because Clarence know how to do it. I could show Trinidad and Tobago in conversations with Clarence that he and I had planned how to fix it. So I know he know. Thank you. Thank you for that call. I appreciate that. Listen, my number is 682-2110. We have a big meeting this Saturday. I hope you're listening to me off here. We have a big meeting this Saturday in Manahambre. Tony gonna give you the address again. Tony, what's your address?
137 Manahambre Road.
And we're meeting at 6 o'clock, caller. I want you to come and meet me. Take my number, 682-2110. Come to that meeting. We're taking calls on 628-9595, 628-3131. Keep them coming in because we want to hear your position. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I don't think we get any connection. But seriously, we have another member of the party coming out to discuss issues that pertains to people in the eastern part of Trinidad and Tobago. Hello, good morning.
Morning. Arapo in the house.
This call, I want to ask you to come to the opening of our South Regional Office. We have an open mic this Saturday at 6 o'clock. The media will be there. We broadcast live. We're recording it to broadcast all over the world. Come and have your say. Come and talk about it. Trinidad need to hear. That is insane. The pressure that M build up is your pressure they're talking about. Your pressure M build up. You know, thanks a lot for that. Listen, I want take my number 682-2110. Tony, what's your number?
688-4012.
Right. And Janice, the next thing we're gonna talk about is pledges to support this party. Don't forget that. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Caller, are they effective though? I mean, you don't have to be loud, you just need to be effective. If the farmers don't know, no, I'm just saying, if the farmers don't know, then how effective are they? It's a closed community. If I am managing anything to do with farming, my first business, Tony, is to get the names of all the farmers.
Correct.
Communication is key.
I'm in a group with about 10,000 farmers and nobody knows about it.
The caller want to say something. Ma'am, I want to say, did you take my number? Take Tony's number. What's your number, Tony?
688-4012.
Call. Oh God, but we want to meet you. You're sounding knowledgeable, and it's people like you that we want to talk to get in the conversation. Yeah. Caller, I loving your suggestions, and I wanna kumbaya with the best of them. No, it's not that, but you speaking from a position of what if this and what if that on the ground. I want to tell you, these people are being I want to say this to you. These people in public office are being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to do this job. So if they're not doing the job, fire them. Absolutely. Thanks a lot, caller. Thank you very much. I want to say thanks a lot to Guy Jarrett. I just want to give Guy some closing remarks as we wrap up his contribution here this morning. Guy, I want you to talk Princess Town for me. I want you to tell everybody who's hearing your voice from the South why they should be at that meeting this Saturday at 6 o'clock.
First thing is, we don't have representation. The last party that was in power, the representatives were nothing but Instagram stars. I see them every day. But guess what, Tony? I see them on Instagram. Nowhere else. I never see them by a pothole. I never see them when water gone. I never see them when the road need fixing.
Yeah.
Nobody sees them. Nobody knows them. And unless on Instagram, they always dress up nice like you, Tony, and take out pictures. I'm going here today. I don't know where you. I don't want to know where you're going.
When was the last time there was a meeting of farmers led by anybody? The opposition, the government, anybody?
Probably a decade.
Who talking food production?
Nobody.
Who talk, and you see this Minister of Agriculture nonsense? We need a Minister of Food and Food Production. We don't need a Minister of Frangipani.
No.
You understand what I'm trying to say? It is time that the people in Parliament and Princess Town get representation. The farmers need help.
Yes.
The issues that matter to farmers need to be... Listen, there are two people in a country. If you lose them, you're in trouble, and one of them is farmers.
Yes.
If they don't have food, you're dead. You're literally dead.
You're dead.
And they just ban crossbow, so you can't go and hunt quenk yourself.
No.
Okay?
No.
You can't go and get your own manicure and your own booty to make curry. No wild duck, nothing. We can't take no more calls right now. I see the switchboard light up, and I'm apologizing. Stick a pin in your calls for a minute. Guy, this Saturday in
Manahamri, 137 Manahamri Road, St. Martin.
Tell the people how to get there.
If you're coming from Princess Town, you either take the Manahamri Road, and it's right after the using St. Martin factory at the Four Roads Junction where the old train line used to be. If you're coming from south, you come up the Naparima Mayara Road and you turn into St. Martin when you reach St. Clements Junction, and you can't miss it from there. If you're coming down the highway, you head up the ramp, the east ramp at Taruba by the Brian Lara Stadium, you turn left, and then you make a right when you reach the link up, and you head down into Coquier, then you make a left at St. Clements Junction.
He lose me. But I know the people in South. No, but you see, easy to find. It's something difficult. And I tell people,
it's really easy to
if
find.
you're using the overpass by South Park as your guidance, I going straight in there heading east. I'm not heading to Marabella. I'm not heading to South Park. I'm heading in the other direction. And I'm driving in there, and I will meet a junction. What's that junction called?
They call it the link up.
And they have like a supermarket and thing
like
right
a T
there.
junction.
A little
Robin's Chicken.
Robin's Chicken. I see that.
There's
About
a
2
T
branches.
junction too.
We had to try this Robin's Chicken. I see it. Robin's Chicken. You're free ad. Your chicken better be good. And you're turning right there by Robin's Chicken. So we're driving again.
And you making the second left.
That is by the yellow building on the right, right? We have a bright yellow building. I know what it is. And a church.
Yeah.
So once you see the yellow building and the church,
That's in Clements Junction.
now you know Chinese has given direction. Drive till you see the cow. And I wonder what happened if the cow move.
The Rasta man is sit down under the tree.
You have a Rasta man in the tree. Eating a pack of nuts. I see him this morning. There's actually directions. Guy, I want to give you a mission. You say you're on a WhatsApp group of 10,000 farmers.
Yeah.
Let's organize the farmers. Let's have a farming food production symposium. I am calling on all farmers. You'll hear me. I talk straight. You know this party. All you know this party by now. All you know is serious. Forget the old talk and the double speak and the race talk and the corruption. The Progressive Empowerment Party would like to mobilize all the farmers in this country. Let us have a symposium on farming and food production in this country. Let us get the farmers together and identify the important issues that need to be addressed so that our manifesto could be instructed, so that we could make a contract with the farming community and the Progressive Empowerment Party.
Agreed. That sounds like the way we want to go.
That is the way forward.
That is the way forward.
That is the way forward.
That even in agriculture, farmers are divided along political lines. And we need to break that.
Dano Suku and this agriculture society, what is the story with that? Does that represent farmers?
No, they don't.
Does farmers
Up
feel
to now.
represented?
Up to now.
Well, let's forget that.
You
Let's
have to
get the
forget
farmers in a room. Farmers, we respect you. The entire country lives and dies on you.
Yeah.
I can't continue to live in this country sleeping at night feeling safe and Hadco and Amco and Massey own my food.
No.
Somebody just tell me, I went to get my cup of tea in Maria's and a man stood down, he said, Mr. Philip, tell them, think about you approaching the grocery that you just go to and seeing a security guard outside the door saying 4 at a time, food limited, 4 at a time, show me your US. You have no US, you can't come in. We could get there. Food is critically important. Guy, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Guy is injured and he here. Guy came all the way from Princeton this morning and he had Popo 3 to 10. Guy is serious. Guy is serious and we are going to organize farmers. Politics ain't help you, you know.
No way.
Politics ain't help you.
Politics not going to put water
The
in the
PNM and the UNC has not helped the farmers in this country. We are going to take a break now and play some ads. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Janelle Sobian, who is going to be bringing up the issues of the eastern part of Trinidad and Tobago, especially La Horquetta, Talparo, and maybe we will hear a little bit about what's going on with Greenvale. Because Greenvale not in the news anymore. Guy, any last words? Call them out Saturday. Call your people
Farmers,
out.
you need to come out to this meeting and voice
Open
your
mic,
concern.
we have an
It's
open
open
mic.
mic. It's not that anybody restricting your voice and telling
Come
you,
on,
listen,
talk.
no politics. You know there are groups out there that are telling you no politics in your group. Come where your voice can be heard, where the personal has become political. The only time you're going to get forward is when your personal becomes political. I know you have been discouraged by the two-pass administration, but give the Progressive Empowerment Party a chance to change the way you do things and the way you see things, and stop farming having a stigma to it. Let people respect you.
We talking entrepreneur farming now. It is
That's
time
right.
to talk entrepreneur farmers.
Not subsistence
I want to
farming.
see farmers driving Mercedes-Benz and BMW.
Yes.
Them supposed to be living nice.
That is what we're talking about.
You only getting on so because you buy a farm. Anyway, we're going to stick a pin. Guy, thanks a lot. I will see, if I don't see you before, I will see you on Saturday and you're going to light them up on the stage. Take care, brother.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,
Hold
man.
it.
Color meets style. A Value Optical 2019 Carnival promotion. Revel in 4 new transition style colors.
Oh, you know, General, right?
How you going? How you going, Terry?
On complete spectacles. Choose from amethyst, sapphire, emerald, or amber, and
So,
live your life
what we
in
doing
full
with
color.
those?
It's fun. It's your vision.
Right.
Fusion. Fashioned by Transitions and Apex Digital.
Tomorrow you say
Traditional
you
grade
not able to make it, able to
colors.
sell it to somebody else.
Promotion, see press, in store, and online for more details. Value Optical. Caring for your eyes.
We'll come in the evening.
The Progressive Empowerment Party invites all of TNT to our grand 2nd anniversary celebration and gala opening of our South Regional Office on Saturday, January 19th, 6 p.m. at 137 Manahamry Road, St. Madeleine. Come here, our dynamic lineup of speakers featuring PEP political leader Philip Alexander address the important issues of the day. Come meet and greet your constituency caretakers and shadow MPs. Live entertainment, secure parking, light refreshments, and limited seating available to confirmed guests. Book your space now. Call 347-4PEP or email us at peptrinvago@gmail.com. Come, be a part of the fastest growing, most exciting political movement in this country's history.
Yeah. Blood in the joints are the ice cream. Yeah, it's so.
Ooh, this must be a hard 3 hours, girl. Hey, this must be a hard 3 hours. And I leave here, so must be exhausted. Thank God Janice is buying me lunch. Yeah, that. You know to come back in, right?
That's all right.
Is she a caretaker? Are you a caretaker for a constituency? No. We need you as the caretaker for La Horquetta Talparo. And I need to introduce you as that. You're interested in that position? Because that's the meeting you're having with Felicia and Shari. Shari is the party organizer. In fact, we're opening the South Hub now. And then we're going to be opening, I think we're going back inside. All right. I think we're back inside. I think we're back. And we're back with Janelle Sobian. And I want to tell you, Janelle Sobian, Hear that name and remember that name. She is a rising political star. The Progressive Empowerment Party, we are looking for citizens, civic-minded patriots with capacity and capability and willingness to stand up for country. Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning, Mr. Philip Alexander. How are you today? Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, you're hearing on your headphones.
Yes,
Good?
I am.
Yeah, because we need to get her loud and clear. You don't need to put on your headphones yet until we're taking calls, but just make sure you're speaking into the microphone. My wingman, Anthony, the food deputy political leader, the man they say too sexy for TV, so they put him on the radio.
How you going this morning, dear?
Hey, don't be flirting with me, sir. Janice, Janice, enforce the law. No flirting with guests, please.
Hey, is that joker, yes? So how you going today, dear?
I'm fine, thank you.
Janelle, let's talk. Let's get into it. Because your constituency is La Joqueta Talparo, yes?
Yes, correct.
How is life in La Joqueta Talparo? Beautiful, booming, well. We have water in the taps. The place secure. The roads are well kept and maintained. There is security. Nobody worried at night. People jumping your fence and breaking in your house. All the water courses are clear. There's no flooding.
That's a great question, Mr. Philip. That's a great question. Well, I can speak for Greenville because that's where I reside. Right now, Greenville is on the way of recovery. I must say that we've had a lot of difficulties since the flooding occurred with getting back on that road to recovery. But by God's grace, we are coping. And as we move forward, we are hoping that measures are put in place to make our community a relaxed and comfortable one. One of the concerns that I have right now with our recovery is ensuring that there are a lot of families in Greenville, there are children there who are doing SEA examination come the first week in April. So this would have, caused a setback for the students as well as those who are doing
Who endured the
CNC.
flood?
Yes.
Who went through the flood?
Yes, like my daughter, for example.
So did a year because there would have been a setback. You lost some months there.
Yes.
But you said you're on the road to recovery, and I heard the Prime Minister said that the problem was that there was an actual system set up to deal with the water, but the water didn't listen to it. He said the water was supposed to turn right and it didn't. You remember that? That's what he said. It's like you could put police and say, go so, and the water will listen. That is what passed for management, that there was a left turn or a right turn. Tell me more about that left turn or that right turn that the water didn't pay attention to.
Well, just like the other Greenville residents, we were not aware of this
System.
What we do know that there is a pond, and we did observe that there's some structure there that's supposed to deal with the flushing of the water into the right, to prevent what happened. And we also have not seen anyone there monitoring that system.
So is it automatic?
We have no idea.
So when it gets wet, it turns itself on?
I doubt that, Mr. Philip.
Janelle,
Yes.
now that we know
Now that we know.
that Greenville was a con job,
Yes.
that you and thousands of others were sold residential homes in a floodplain, what's the next step for Greenville? Because I don't hear Greenville in the news, and I'm willing to believe that the reason I'm not hearing Greenville in the news is that residents have been bought out, that they've been paid a little bit of money and got to sign a non-disclosure agreement so they could hide the incompetence of this PNM and the UNC government, because they both conspired to do this to these people, Tony. Both of them, one bill it, the other one hand it out. It's like one robbed the bank, the other was driving the getaway car. That's what happened here.
That's exactly what happened. Perfect analogy. Perfect.
What do you do now? How do you go forward now knowing that this could happen again? You're living in a bathtub in the sea.
Correct. Like everyone else, I guess we are sitting it out and waiting to see what happens next based on what the present government is going to do. What what recommendations do they have in
But
mind?
Janelle, don't you think that the solution is to buy out all the residents, relocate them, and demolish Greenvale from being a residential community in a floodplain?
Yes, I would agree with that, but
There is nothing that you could do engineering-wise. The candle will
Correct.
cost more than the funeral. It don't
yeah.
make sense to try
Yeah.
to escalate a commitment to a bad decision. Doesn't make sense.
Correct.
And that's what they're doing. They're trying to defend the nonsense.
That's
I
right.
want to get public inquiries as to how this was allowed to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Camille Robinson Regis and Rudal Morilal trading barbs in the parliament. Don't help me.
Yeah.
It's my money to spend.
Correct. That's right.
I want to know.
That's right.
And my brothers and sisters in Greenvale, what was done to them? If we don't start standing together, I tell Trinidadians all the time, you know, until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are, we ain't going nowhere, you know.
correct.
We can't continue to be isolated in our conundrums and our suffering and stand alone. Everybody, I tell people all the time, if you see somebody being taken advantage of, stand with that person. Because the day could come when if it is not you or a loved one, Janice, you don't want to find out. Elias Quero died on Lady Young Road in an accident, and the neighbors came and stripped him of his belongings. What a way to go. And Michael Coelho is a follower on this page. I know he would hear that, and I just have to say these things because, and I don't want to revisit people's hurts on them, but we need to understand the truth of the country we live in. We live in a failed nation. The people of Morva, the people in those communities there, should not have been living at a point where they could see another human being as prey.
Correct.
That just shows how broken we are as a society, as a people. You understand what I'm saying? We have a government, and I keep saying it, 11 administrations passed through the parliament since that red, white, and black went up. And there's no leader that went there actually seeking the best interest of the population as a whole. Forget racist, forget who we are from, Indian, Creole, Spanish, whatever. The point is, as a born Trinidadian, which leader has made it their duty to truly seek the interests of the people as a whole? Which, you talk about Williams being father of the nation.
Stop that nonsense. Don't even encourage that foolish talk. Don't even encourage that foolish talk. We've never had a father nation. Them is father nation. They take advantage of the children.
Yeah, exactly.
That is abuse.
Well said.
That is abuse. That is what that was.
Well said.
Our truth is our truth, and we have to live the truth. We have to see that for what it was. Listen, if there's one thing I am very good at, is calling out injustice. You know, when something not working, I would say it not working. I want to encourage, I want my legacy to be, my people to understand that they're supposed to stand up and speak out. We're taking a break for some ads now. When we come back, we'll be talking more to Janelle Sobian. She is going to be our constituency caretaker for La Joqueta Talparo, and we will be bringing her to speak with you in public soon. We will be also taking your calls right after this.
Its owners and associates.
Brother, she coming with walking.
Don't try and say that.
Limited does not endorse any of the
And she has
information
spat to her.
provided
Serious
in this
thing.
commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve
Talk to Janelle so you could, any
Yes,
questions
yes,
that you
yes.
can ask.
But in this
Yes,
time
well,
of
I mean, at the end of the day, we
misinformation,
do have to
government-controlled
sit
media
and
corruption,
go through
it
a
is
whole
sometimes
host of different
hard to
things.
get the
We have to come up
truth,
your
but we
way,
must try.
find out
It is
where we
not
can
our
actually hold
intention
and host
to
a little
discriminate or
town
annoy
meeting
anyone.
for the residents in the
It is
area,
our constitutional
you know,
right
because
to free
it's
speech,
important
to
that they
voice our
themselves
opinion,
know
and our duty
who you
to the
are, who
population
you're
and
affiliated
country
with,
to
and what
expose
there is that you are proposing that you are able to try to bring some kind of sanity to them.
Lead her. This is her first radio interview, right?
Yes.
So lead her in the questions. Ask her questions that's easy for her.
7 FM. It's Carnival Fever.
But you know,
Oh God, that's your culture. Hold on, girl and jam shit. That's what we selling.
That's what we
I'm
started.
not in Greenville. I'm moving back on the 28th.
28.
Yes,
No,
I
you
had
had.
to rent for 3 months.
No, that was a cost incurred by you, or was the
Yes,
state
by
able to?
myself.
Serious.
Yes, because my daughter's in 4-5. So So I had to remove her.
You're living in a country, Janice, where it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside, get removed. But we singing Hola Gyal and Jamshi. We are such a Neanderthal little backward nation, eh?
Trinidad and Tobago, M104.7 FM Carnival Fever is
And we
taking
still waiting
over
the insurance
TNT.
money.
What does that mean?
Well, they will give it to us, but sometime next month.
Next month. But wasn't you supposed to get that sometime last year?
Well, they didn't give it to us, so some of us put all the costs and fixed our homes. Agency, however, has a few with many others tiling over.
Yeah, but
So they're trying to keep the people passive. You
right,
know?
right.
Talk that again when you come back.
They're trying to keep people passive. Some people are quite contented, but life continues after that.
Yeah, it continues until the next heavy rainfall, and then everything has to be upset again. You go through an entire period of another 3-4 months of distress, having to.
The Progressive Empowerment Party
But I
invites
don't want to
all
touch too much in Greenville right now.
So that is in the ads loop.
Because it's going to be in
of
court.
our South
It's in court?
Regional
Yeah,
Office
so we
on
want to discuss
Saturday,
that.
January
For the insurance?
6
No,
p.m.
the
at 137 Manhattan
well,
Road,
I'm not gonna say
St.
much about
Come
where we're
here,
going
our
forward.
dynamic lineup of speakers.
Because when
featuring
that- when
PDP
the,
political
when-
leader
let's-
Philip
when our
Alexander
lawyer
addressed the
sends
important
the,
issues
letter
of
to
the
the
day.
Attorney General,
Come
then
meet
it will
and
come
greet
out.
your constituency
now I
caretakers
just
and
wanna
shadow
see.
MPs. Live entertainment, secure parking, light refreshments, and limited seating available
He asked me not to talk.
confirmed guests.
The lawyer asked you that? Not to talk about the case?
347-4PEP or email us at peptrinbaker@gmail.com. Come, be a
Although the
part
plight of the
the
people
fastest
outside of politics, you know what I mean? But yeah. When are you seeing him again?
As a Soviet.
You're Soviet?
Yes, my cousin was the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, and after he found out that the corruption with the PNM, he left. He served 5 years in London.
Okay.
He never, they asked him to run again, and he went to Trinidad. But I don't want to bring that forward, you know, his past away.
Wow, wow.
He was an excellent attorney general. Corrupt.
Yeah, right. By the people. That's your point.
For example, what does the caretaker do? Because my lifestyle is so hectic.
Well, the caretaker basically does almost everything as what the shadow MP does. It's basically a vetting time for you as well, seeing how efficient you're able to assimilate the information, where the whole political landscape is concerned. Transformation we're also trying to make, where laws and just again the system in itself and how we operate. So there is great potential for you to elevate to. But again, the shadow MP, right? So yeah. It's all for a betterment for all. You know, and that's what it is. I don't want to be here, but I need to get here. And I want to know that there can be a point. All these issues, it just can't end.
So is it
We could have the meeting tomorrow at 11 o'clock at Stanmore, as discussed.
tomorrow?
Tuesday, right?
Sunday, February 10th, Center of Excellence. Get your tickets at all NLCB, Massey, Cache, and Extra Foods outlets. Travis Edge, or call 776-1032, 303-3506, or 379-6569 for further info. Courtesy Black Opal, Blue Waters, Cara Brewery, Tycol, Red Instant Rentals, and NLCB.
This is
Want a
a
better
paid
life?
political
They
program
We're going in.
on
After that.
104.7 FM.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago, we're back inside. I am Philip Edward Alexander, the political party. What?
Political leader.
That's what I said.
I say political party. It's all good.
Serious, talk so much and say so much. Anyway, political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party. No, you see what I did there? I kind of edited it. I am